Welcome back to the Citizen channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well. After the disappointment in FA Cup semi-final, we're back to the bread and butter. We're back to the Premier League, and let's take another step towards clinching that, shall we? And put all thoughts of the FA Cup back as a distant memory. We're taking on Brighton at 8 p.m. on the 20th of April 2022 at the Etihad. So it seemed a long time ago when we played Brighton away. I went to that one. It seems probably was a long time ago. I have no idea. I can't remember now. So please welcome to this little preview of match day 32, of course. And we have a look at Brighton, how they're doing. Yeah, they've improved very much the last couple of games. So I say they looked a bit iffy at one stage, but they're okay. We're trying to predict our starting 11. Obviously, we've got a big question mark over KDB and his stitches, but we'll talk about that later. The game is not being shown anywhere, so if you can get to the ground, get to the Etihad, guys. There's still tickets on sale as I'm recording this on the Monday before the match. In charge, you got Mr. Dean. Yes, Mike Dean, his retirement this season. Oh, bless. And this will be his 555th top-flight match with City. Not with City, but as a Premier League referee. So that's not bad going, is it? He's 53, so he probably could have done another year or two, couldn't he? And he's taken charge of 23 matches so far this season, showing 74 yellows and 2 red cards. So just under 3 a match. So that's not bad, actually, for the Premier League referees. That's quite a low card count. And he was last in charge of us, of course, at St Mary's in our 4-1 FA Cup winner. Why did we bother? I'm not too sure, but we could only play what we never knew. We didn't know what was going to happen, did we? I mean, we didn't know we were going to get Liverpool the semi and have injury problems and tiredness problems, but that's how it goes. His line-os, Darren Cann and Eddie Smart. Chris Kavanagh is on VAR at Stockley Park and making his cup of tea or his cup of soup at half-time. We've got Neil Davis and Robert Jones is the 4th official. Last time out at our place, of course, it was COVID, wasn't it? It was the 13th of January 2021, a 6 p.m. kickoff. So was it on Amazon? I have no idea. I can't remember now, guys. Can you? And the team that day, Edison, Cancelo, Stones, Diaz and Zinchenko, Rodri, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Bernardo, Mahrez and Foden. So, interesting team. And it was just a 1-0 win with a goal from Phil Foden on 44 minutes. And although Brighton played it quite defensively on the day, they did try and sort of hit us, which they have done recently, actually, in the last couple of games we played. We'll talk about that in a second. But they did try and get us towards the end. Obviously, 1-0's never safe, is it? But as we were not panicking, but as we were hanging on a little bit in the 92nd minute, we got a penalty, of course, and Mr. Sterling missed it, so he had the chance to sort of calm our nerves for the last couple of minutes, but it didn't quite work. But we got away with a 1-0 win anyway. Overall, at home against Brighton, we played 11 times, won 9, drawn 2, and we've not lost any. So that's not bad, is it? But fingers crossed, that's not. It was in the Quirky Stats, but I took that out. But obviously it's there in black and white, so I don't want to say too much. We scored 27 goals and let 6 in. And please check out my little History Boys feature on City versus Brighton. I go back to a game back in 1985 in Cannon League Division 2. Yeah, so seek that out, guys, the History Boys feature. I love doing those things, and it's really great if you can get along and just watch it. Only about 12 minutes, 10, 12 minutes or something like that. They're always good fun to do, and I hope you get enjoyment from watching them. And the odds to win the match, please, when the fun stops. I don't condone gambling in any way. To win the league, yes, City are 2-5 on, generally. So I think we've drifted in or out, we've got a little bit better since our last game with the draw against Liverpool. Liverpool have gone out to 2-1, so that could still all alter, couldn't it? For this particular match, City against Brighton, we're 1-5 on. Not the shortest odds. So draw is 11-2. And for a Brighton win, if you're a Brighton fan, you can get 18-1 in certain bookies, but generally it's 14-1. So you have to shop around. But please check out my little odd show special as well. That'll be coming out after this. So it'll be the day after this, depending when you're watching this. They might both be out, but you'll have to. Obviously, this is coming out on the Monday and before the match, and the odd show vlog will come out on the Tuesday. So if you want that, and have a look at my charity bets, and I said we had a win last week, so all good stuff. So if you can check that out again, like my History Voice show on Brighton, fantastic. So how's it going to pan out? I mean, as I said, well, Brighton, they're fairly buoyant now. They did have a bad run. I think they'd gone about six or seven games without a victory. But obviously, they've had a really good last couple of games in North London. Obviously, they do a lot of things from Brighton saying they rule North London, which is probably more than we can say. All right, we do it all right at the Emirates, not so much at the other place, unfortunately. So they've got themselves safely now on 40 points. And at this stage of the season, 40 points to say, it's one of those things they can probably relax. But hopefully, you're hoping teams like this are on the beach. But I mean, obviously, even the manager can say what he likes, but players' minds sometimes switch off. But also, it works in reverse as it did against Tottenham, and they were totally dominated Tottenham in that game. And actually got the goal towards the end of the match, and they made a bit of a habit of getting late goals as well. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the minds are, whether they're sort of totally zoned in. Hopefully not. Hopefully, or if they are, hopefully we're far better, which we are on paper. Obviously, of course we are. Shame we're playing on grass, but there you go. But I think they could. Have you looked back at the 4-1 victory at Brighton, for instance, which was there? We were very fortunate, I think, to beat them 4-1. They were actually had 2 or 3 really good chances before we started taking control of that game, and it did flatter us just a little bit. So I don't think they've got any fear. I mean, they can relax. They're on 40 points, no big problem. Potter's a good manager. He knows how to play defensively as well. It's not all gung-go. I mean, they actually had double the chances of Tottenham at Tottenham Hotspur the other day. So they certainly played with no inhibitions. That's for sure. And I don't expect them to have any inhibitions at our place. I think they'll sort of go for it, but they're quite able, as I said, they're quite able to tighten it up a little bit as well if they want to. So it's not, there's no games, there's no easy games in the Premiership's the motto, isn't it? And it's quite right. I mean, actually, that 40 points sits them in 10th position. They've won 9, they've drawn a lot. They've drawn 13. They won 9 and drawn 13 of the 32 games so far. So, yeah, they have made a habit of being hard to beat, even if they're not winning games. And the last 6 games, as I said, as we were struggling at Wembley, they thoroughly deserved the 1-0 win at Spurs. Previously to that, they'd gone to Arsenal, beat them 2-1, not as comprehensively, but that followed a draw at home with Norwich. But as I said, this had followed a bit of a dodgy time. I mean, all right, dodgy, but within reason. They'd lost to Liverpool and Spurs and lost away at Newcastle. So, all right, probably forgivable. So, but it seems to be that we playing them again when they've hit a bit of form, and perhaps they're not on the beach. Perhaps they're just confident and playing good football now because there's no real pressure on them. So we will have to be very, very good to beat Brighton, I think, and take advantage of this. So that really brings us on to City, doesn't it? I mean, we've got hopefully 9, hopefully 10 games now to define this season. No way we've been at our best this season. We just haven't, but we're getting to the end now. There's still plenty to play forward. Obviously, for this game, I would hope for a 2 or 3 goal winning margin. I don't want a 1 goal thing and then going into the last few minutes, because I said Brighton have made a bit of a habit of snatching goals at the end as well. So I do want this little run now towards the end of the season. Don't forget, less than a week after this, we play Real Madrid. So, I mean, Pep may have to juggle a few things. For me, I want to go strong every game, but you don't know, and perhaps he'll start to juggle with this one. But we'll see in my team in a minute. But he's surely got to put, at this stage, 6 days away from the Real Madrid game, his strongest team possible out, and that means KDB's had his stitches took out, and he's not a problem with that. Then surely he's got to play the strongest 11. So we have to put this one to bed. We have to start quickly. We have to sort of be on the front foot every game. We haven't got time to wait till the second half to start, which we've done in a lot of games this season. So we need to gain control. And as I say, I'm hoping for a 2 or 3 goal winning margin, and I'm sure we'll be up for it. So this is my 11, allowing for those on the bench to be fit for this one from the FA Cup semi-final, of course. Walker will still, I can't see Walker being back. Walker will still be out, of course. I think Palmer's due back. He's had obviously an ankle injury, hasn't he? But I think Palmer's due back, certainly on the bench, so I think he could get a chance there. And as I say, I've put KDB in my starting 11 with a proviso that if he's not ready, if his stitches haven't come out, or Pep doesn't want to risk him for whatever reason, I think Gundogan will come in as well for KDB. So my starting 11 for this game, I've got Ederson, Stones at right back, Diaz, Laporte, Cancelo at left-back, Roderick, KDB, and if not, Gundogan, Bernardo, Mahrez, Foden, and Grealish. Yeah, so obviously people like Sterling could easily come into this. Jesus could come into it again. As I say, I think we're going to see 2 or 3 little juggling about with the places over the next couple of weeks. Let's face it, he's gonna, depending how these 2 games go. Don't forget we've got Watford as well at the weekend. We get through these 2 games, of course he's going to play the strongest team we can against Real Madrid. But it is a matter of juggling for Pep now, and I don't think we can have too much of a downer on him. It's very, very important. But for us, everybody, as far as I know, it's the league that is the priority at this point in time. So for me, Brighton and Watford, we play our strongest teams. Let me know what you think, guys, anyway, and what your starting 11 might be, anything different to that. Right, on to the quirky stats before we go. Brighton have just won one of their 16 Premier League games on a Wednesday. Yeah, 6.3%. You'll see a City one in a minute. Though that victory was away at champions Liverpool last season. Of all teams to have played 10-plus games on the day, only Watford with 5.3% and Portsmouth with 5% have a lower win rate than the Seagulls. So let's hope that carries on. After a 7-game winless run in the Premier League, Brighton have now won each of the last 2, of course. The Seagulls haven't won 3 consecutive league games since October 2018 under Chris Hughton. So hopefully they won't this time. City have won each of their last 18 Premier League games on a Wednesday. There you go. Only Liverpool have had a longer winning run on a specific day of the week. I said they were quirky stats. 21 on Saturdays between 2018 and 2020. So let's take it to 19 on a Wednesday. That'll be good. City's Phil Foden has been involved in 5 goals in his 3 Premier League starts against Brighton, scoring 4 and assisting 1. The 21-year-old has scored more Premier League goals against the Seagulls than he has any other side in the competition. City's Kevin De Bruyne has scored 11 Premier League goals this season. He's only netted more in 2019-20 with 13, while this is the only campaign in which he's scored more goals than he's assisted. Yeah, because they keep missing his assists, don't they? That's a problem. That's just 3 assists. The Belgian is also looking to score in 3 consecutive league games for the first time since October 2015. Anytime goal scorer, anyone? We'll see. Leandro Trossard has scored 6 Premier League goals for Brighton, including a last-minute one against Spurs. This is his best return in a single campaign. The Belgian opened the scoring against Arsenal and netted the Seagulls' win against Tottenham in the last 2 games. With no Brighton player ever scoring in 3 consecutive Premier League away games before. So let's hope that continues. Well, there you go, guys. Quirky stats to say. Let me know any thoughts, any feelings you've got. And, of course, tune back in on Thursday for a full match report of this game. And as I said, if you can check out my odds show and history show as well, that'll be great if you can do that. And I'll be back with Thursday with my ratings, the MEN ratings, and of course a match report. Hopefully, fingers crossed, on a victory against Brighton and Hove Albion. So let's do the double over them. I mean, it won't be unusual, would it? I mean, they all used to love doing doubles because they were very rare, but not so much these days. Anyway, but tune back in for that. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. Anyway, thanks for watching. And please, whatever you do before we meet again, I only ask one thing of you, don't I? Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.